where did that month go? But we have some pretty interesting insights with only 1 month of data. And I continue to believe that there's one market segment in Massachusetts that we really need to keep our eye on, as the headwinds, well, they're starting to get very strong. If you're wanting to hear about the Massachusetts real estate market data for single family, condos, as well as multifamilies, then you're in the right place. Real quick, my name is Jeff Chubb, and I'm a recovering investment banker turned real estate agent and real estate investor that has sold more than 1,000 houses. If you have any real estate questions, then know I'm here to help. Thinking about buying or selling a house? Then please reach out, as it would be a true pleasure to help you with your real estate goals. Let's start with the single families. In January of 2025, we saw 2,263 single-family homes sell for an average sales price of $805,000. From a sales perspective, it looks like we are starting the year off with sales levels just slightly higher than what we saw in 2024. And I really believe that this is going to be the case for, well, pretty much all of 2025. 2025 is just going to be a little bit better than 2024. Sales are going to be better, but they're not going to just blow it out of the water. We sold 2,263 single-family properties in January 2025. The 2,263 single-family homes that sold in January was 6.2% more than last year when we saw 2,131 homes sell. Now, that's a pretty great start to the year. Another strong start to the year is with the 9.7% year-over-year price increase. To put this in perspective, there were only 3 months in 2025 where this year-over-year appreciation rate was higher. Now, onto the yearly sales comparison levels. This really gives you a good visualization of how our sales levels continue to slowly grow year over year. Aside from the last 2 years, the 2,263 units sold would be on par with what we saw in January of 2012. I think the important thing here is that the market continues to improve. Steady and incremental improvements is a huge win for the overall health of the real estate market. We are now at 7 consecutive months of year-over-year sales price increases. Before January of last year, we had 30 consecutive months of year-over-year sales decline. So 7 consecutive months is a pretty great stat. Now, these year-over-year sales increases are going to become the expected and the norm as we progress through this year. That's my opinion, at least. And that is now 55 consecutive months of year-over-year price increases. We are now only 5 months away from 5 years or 60 months of continual price gains. At this point, it kind of makes you feel just a little bad for all the people who said that the market was going to crash and they ended up not buying over the last 7 to 8 years. But it's all about inventory levels. So let's just take a look at inventory. Inventory levels increased year over year. It's the increase in inventory levels which makes me believe that our average sales price will be similar or maybe slightly below what we saw last year. The 3,255 units was up 15.2% year over year, as there were 2,825 single-family houses on the market as of the end of January 2024. It's an even more shocking number when compared to our low point in 2022. We now have nearly 70% more homes on the market than when compared to January of 2022. Yes, interest rates suck compared to 2019, but buyers should be rejoicing in the selection of houses available to them for sale. Now, we started the year off with the 4th lowest inventory levels in history, and we have now crossed that line and are now at the 5th lowest levels in history. But something to note is that in most years, inventory levels, they've gone down this month and in February as well. So far, it's not really happening. I think this is something that we really need to keep our eye on. Now, the last data captures the last day of the month, while this chart is always a Monday to Monday comparison. So essentially, it's the first Monday of February for the last 5 years. We now have 394 more single-family homes on the market when compared to the same point in 2024, and now have 1,278 more single-family houses on the market when compared to 2022. We listed 2,696 single-family homes in Massachusetts in January of 2025. Now, this was a 6.9% increase compared to January 2024. Price reductions, they were up year over year as well. In January of 2025, we saw an increase of 13.9% with 180 price reductions. Quick recap. So sales in the single-family market, they were up by 9.8%, while inventory was up by 15.2%. The number of new listings was up by 6.9% when compared to last year's numbers, while seeing a 13.9% increase in price reductions for the January of 2025. The $805,000 average sales price means that home prices in Massachusetts, like I said earlier, are up 9.7% year over year. If I was a betting man, based off of this data, next month we're probably going to see just a small dip in the average sales price, with then the next 4 months seeing price gains to hit that pricing peak of the year in June. This was kind of crazy. I had to go back and check the numbers over, I think I did it 2 or 3 times. Our list to sale price ratio was 98.74% in January 2025. Okay. This is compared to the 98.74% that were recorded in January 2024. Similar markets, right? Our days on market started the year off higher at 48 days on the market for the month of January. We have the condo market and the multifamily market up next. But first, any chance you can do me a huge favor? It just helps play with that YouTube algorithm. Can you hit that like button right down there? It just makes a huge difference to me as well as my channel. Well, if you're enjoying the content, then I appreciate you considering subscribing. We saw 988 condos close in Massachusetts for the month of January with an average sales price of $715,000. There is some ugliness in this one, so get ready. Let's start with the sales data. Sales levels, they were up by 21.14% year over year. Now, the 988 condos sold in Massachusetts for the month of January was compared to the 822 units that we sold in January 2024. This was a solid start to the new year from a sales perspective, at least. This month's 21% year-over-year increase built on last month's 11.6% year-over-year increase. It's interesting because from a sales perspective, the condo market, it just doesn't seem to really be struggling at all. But other factors say different. We've already established that we blew last year's numbers out of the water. The 998 sales puts us on par with January of 2015 when we sold 948 condos. Chalk it up to another 4-year high for inventory levels in the condo market, though. The 2,145 condos on the market in Massachusetts is 23.6% higher than the levels that we saw in January of 2024, and 58.8% higher than the low point inventory levels that we saw in January of 2022. We had 361 more condos on the market when compared to the end of January 2024. And we are very quickly starting to close in on the 2021 levels as we only have 291 units short compared to the January 2021. Keep in mind, that was the COVID peak and the condo market got slaughtered during COVID. The inventory levels are really something we need to keep our eye on. It's inventory that dictates what's going on with pricing. New listings were up year over year in January. There were 1,783 condos listed, which is a 12.6% increase over the 1,583 condos listed in January 2024. Price reductions really jumped this month. In January 2025, we had 115 condos see price reductions, which is compared to the 63 reductions that we saw in January 2024. This is an 82.5% increase year over year. As a year-over-year comparison, sales levels were up 21.4%, and new listings were up by 12.6% when compared to 2024. Meanwhile, inventory was up by 23.6% with the number of price reductions up by 82.5% year over year. Now, a couple additional stats is that the list to sale price ratio for the month of January was 98.2%, while the days on market was 57. Well, we didn't see price declines, but let's just say it was a little too close for comfort. The average sales price of $715,329 was 0.09% higher than the average sales price in January of 2024 when it was $714,717. It wasn't that long ago when we had 4 months of pricing declines. Then we saw 2 months that felt like it got us out of the crapper. But this essentially break-even month is just throwing up another caution flag for what I expect is going to be a constant story of 2025. This is my worrisome piece of data. This is what has me very cautious for 2025. When you only have 1 month of data, you can make the 0.09% look decent. But like I said, this is worrisome territory after the first half of 2024. And now, for my very quick and shameless plug, if you are thinking about buying or selling a home, then reach out to me today, as it would be an honor to help guide you through the process. Now on to the multifamily market. Another good month in the multifamily market. In January of 2025, we saw 368 multifamily units sell for an average sales price of $799,000. The 368 units sold was 15 units or 4.3% increase in the year-over-year sales levels for January. The 368 units sold obviously puts us in line with the last 2 years, but before that, we'd actually go back to January of 2015 when we sold 361 units. Inventory in the multifamily market grew year over year. There are currently 644 multifamily properties on the market, which means that inventory levels are up by 66 units or 11.4% year over year. So far this year, we've seen our inventory levels pretty much go toe-to-toe with 2023. We currently have 48 more multifamily units on the market compared to the same time in 2024, and only 5 more units when compared to the same time in 2023. New listings were down by 6.5% for January of 2025, as we listed 532 multifamily properties compared to the 569 in 2024. Year over year, the $799,000 was 13.3% higher than the levels we recorded in January of 2024. So to put this 13.3% in perspective, this means that there were only 3 other times in 2024 that posted a higher year over year increase in sales prices. Want to talk about your own personal real estate needs? Again, it's Jeff Chubb. Whether you're looking to buy or sell a home in the next 9 or 90 days, then I would love to chat with you and just find out a little bit more about your real estate goals. And if you know of anyone that's thinking about buying or selling a house, then I truly appreciate you passing along my contact information. You can visit youtuberealestateagent.com or find all my contact information in the description below right down there. Until next time.